Dear students, welcome back to Microcontroller and Embedded Systems. Myself, Professor Subramania Bhagwat. Next question is ARM bus technology. Sometimes this is called as AMBA bus architecture or ARM bus technology. This consists, okay, AHB, AMBA ASB, AMBA APB, and all the peripheral devices connected as shown in the figure. What is that actually? Okay, let me explain it. So the concept will be very clear to you. AMBA bus protocol introduced in the year 1996. Advanced microcontroller bus architecture is known as AMBA, Advanced Microcontroller Bus Architecture. It's introduced in the year 1996 and has been widely adopted as an on-chip bus architecture and used for ARM processors. This is first AMBA bus introduced were ASB and APB. ASB stands for ARM System Bus, where APB stands for ARM Peripheral Bus. Later, AHB is nothing but ARM High Performance Bus, ARM High Performance Bus. All these things contains all these things like ARM System Bus ASB, ARM Peripheral Bus APB, ARM High Performance Bus AHB. All these things contains this, and peripheral designers can reuse the same design on multiple projects. A peripheral can be yeah peripheral can be bolted onto on-chip bus without having a redesign and interface for each different processor's architecture. Here, yeah, AHB provides a high performance throughput than ASB because it is based on centralized multiplexed bus scheme rather than the ASB bidirectional bus design. This change allows AHB bus to run at higher clock speeds. Here he has clearly mentioned high performance pipeline operations, multiple bus masters, bus transfers, where AMBA ASP, what is a ASP ARM system bus? High performance pipeline operations, multiple bus masters. What is APB? ARM peripheral bus, low power, latched addresses and control, simple interfaces, suitable for many peripherals. It's explained. Next, yeah. Next, ARM has introduced two variations on the AHP bus, multi-layer AHP and AHP Lite. Multi-layer AHP and AHP Lite. Multi-layer AHP allows multiple activities bus masters, where AHP Lite is subset of the AHP bus and is limited to single bus master. The examples device shown in the figure 3 buses, AHP bus for high performances, APB bus for slower peripherals, and third bus for external peripherals. Next question is, you have to draw this diagram very neatly and explain these things. Next very important question is, very important next question is, difference between dynamic RAM and static RAM. Dynamic RAM is made up of capacitors. Remember, directly go to the up to the point. Go to the which one is important. Go to that. Dynamic RAM is made up of capacitors, where static RAM is made up of flip-flops. Data storage in the form of charge in dynamic RAM, where data storage in the form of voltage in static RAM. Small in size and less expensive dynamic RAM, where static RAM is large in size, much expensive, where dynamic RAM is less expensive. High storage capacity, we have dynamic RAM, while static RAM low storage capacity. Dynamic RAM is low but consume less power. Static RAM is fast but consume more power. Data loses with time, so needs to refreshing circuitry for maintain the charge of the capacitors for data. Where static RAM no data losses, doesn't require periodic refreshment. Next is DRAM, dynamic RAM, are used in main memory, where SRAM is static RAM used in cache memory. This is a next important question. Next, if you observe that, next important question is registers. Registers of ARM registers. Wait, these things we have studied last class. Last class we studied these things. Next, very important thing is registers and CPSR. This also we have studied. Registers, remember, yeah, registers. Observe this diagram, yeah, R0 to R15. That thing should be written very clearly. Suppose I am writing an instruction, move R0, comma 10. 10 number will go and sit in the place of register R0. Here, remember, example through I explain, so the concept will be very clear to you. Suppose somebody gives amount, what I do, I keep it in my pocket. My pocket is a temporary storage, or I keep it in my account. That account is permanent storage. Same way, where pocket is used to store the amount, account is used to store the or whatever amount is there stored in bank account. Same way, in a program, whatever numbers what you are giving to these things are, that number is stored in registers R0 to R12. Example, move R0, comma 10. 10 is go and sit in the place of R0. Move R1, comma 12. 12 will go and sit in the place of R1. So to store the data or address, we need a registers. General purpose registers hold either data or an address. Okay. The identified with the letters small r prefixed to the register number. For example, register 4 is known as R4, register 0 is known as R0, register 1 is the R1. So that R0 to R12, like this 12 registers are there to store the data or addresses. Second one, yeah, R3 is nothing but a stack pointer. R3, sorry, R13 is stack pointer. R13 is a register structure actually. R13 is a stack pointer, means that example through I tell you. So the concept will be very clear to you. Yeah, in a mobile, okay, sorry, mobile, no. In any one book, if you say, one page will be there, content page. What is that content page? Content page contains informations. What informations? Content page says page number 1 contains this data, page number 2 contains this data, chapter number 3 this page. So for that one page is required, right? Same way, to store the stack in the current processors, we have a stack pointer. Only the store the head of the stack in the current processor, we have a particular register called as R13, that's called stack pointer. Then R14 is called link register, where link register core puts the return address wherever it is calls a subroutine. Where R15 is called program counter, contains the address of the next instruction to be fetched. Next instruction to be fetched is stored in there, R15. Next, very important, two program status registers are there. One is a CPSR, current program status register. Next is a SPSR, saved program status register. Very important concept is a CPSR. This directly they can ask a next question also, direct question also, CPSR. Okay, CPSR, that already I had clearly explained CPSR. Yesterday I have given one more video also regarding that CPSR. So the concept will be very clear to you there actually. CPSR, yesterday I had given a video, just go through that things, okay. That is a 32 bits, 32-bit registers, okay. Where, wait for 2 minutes, yeah. One diagram you have to draw for that, wait. Okay, next one, yeah. Blank registers also one of the very important things. Blank registers. CPSR's last class clearly no, we studied condition flags, status, extensions, and controls it contains. Condition flags, that all those things we studied. Six privileged modes, okay, that we have to remember. That is a process enters abort mode when there is a failed attempt to access. Past interrupt request and interrupt request modes. Okay, this is two interrupt levels available in ARM processors. Supervisor mode. Supervisor mode is the mode that the processors after reset, and generally the mode that is operating system kernel operates in. System mode, it's a special version of user mode that allows full read and write access to the CPSR. Undefined mode issued when the processor encounters an instruction that is undefined or not supported by implementations. Next, blanked registers, one of the very important thing. Again, we study this one while solving question papers. Also, we will study in detail the things. Blanked registers is one of the very important concept. Here, yeah, total 37 registers are available. We have to show. There's where past interrupt request modes, also some registers, interrupt request modes, supervisor, undefined, and abort modes, also some registers are there. Out of these, 20 registers are hidden from a program at different times. These are all hidden from the program at different times. These registers are called blanked registers, identified by shading. Yes, shaded the things identified by like this. Blanked registers are available only when the processor is in particular mode. Particular mode. For example, abort mode. Abort mode. R13 abort and R14 abort, what we call. For example, abort mode has a blanked registers R13 abort, R14 abort, and SPSR abort. Blanked register of particular mode are denoted by underlined character, postfixed mode, mnemonic, or underscore mode. Every processor mode except user mode can change mode by writing directly to the mode bits of the CPSR. All processor modes except system mode have a set of associated blanked registers. There are a subset of 16 registers. That's all those things we study. Next, okay. State and instruction sets. Next important question is state, and for this diagram you have to write. Next is yeah. Next important pointer this things is yeah. This we study while solving question papers. Wait. Yeah. Next very important thing is state and instruction sets. Next question is state and instruction set. There are three instruction sets. First one is ARM, second one is thumb, next one is JJLA. ARM instruction set is only active when the processor is in ARM state. Thumb instruction set is only active when the processor is in thumb state. Once thumb state of the processor is executing purely thumb 16-bit instructions. That differences, if you study, it is a very good. Yeah, this is differences. Where instruction size ARM instructions 32-bit, where thumb instructions 16 bits. Core instruction sets in ARM 58, where thumb it is 30. Conditional executions most in ARM, where thumb only branch instructions. Next, data processing instructions. Data processing instructions. Yeah, access to barrel shifter and ALU in ARM, where separate barrel shifter and ALU in thumb. Next is program status register. Read and write in privileged mode. Read write in privileged mode in ARM. No direct access in thumb. Register uses 15 general purpose registers used plus program counter, where 8 general purpose registers plus 7 high registers used in thumb status. Okay, next class what we do next class next questions we will study. All the best.